Boys, when I say that this is the worst ever take and review I have ever heard on a sparking game, let's just open up the door. This guy is a Fighter Z fan, okay? He likes fighters. He thinks fighters is better than the Tenkaichi series, even though the Tenkaichi has always outdone the fighting series, including Budokai. And then he said that Budokai was the same as Budokai Tenkaichi, which, no, Sparking and Budokai are completely different. I'm sorry that it's named Budokai Tenkaichi because they didn't think Sparking would sell here in America, but that's what it is, bro. Oh my lord. He also thinks that Fighters is more innovative when all it is Tekken with flying. Or not Tekken, now it's Mortal Kombat Fighter Z, basically. I don't. Oh boy, let's get into it.
Can you spot what's wrong with these two Dragon Ball Z games? They show the same scene, Goku and Vegeta battling it out in a Utah-looking desert. It's a classic clash that took DBZ into the modern era.
I told you that guy would say something stupid. I told you. Raging Blast and Xenoverse are the same? Bro, what are you talking about? That'd be like me saying that fucking Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed Shadows are gonna be the exact same game when they're not at all. Like, come on, man. This guy's gonna make me put my head through a wall.
And with the new engine, you can likely pick out which one is the newest game, Sparking Zero. But which one is the second newest? Does the gameplay look different? Faster? Smoother? Tighter?
You want to go to war, Malaki?
No.
Because we could go to war.
No.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
Bro just compared Burst Limit, Xenoverse, Xenoverse 2, and Raging Blast together. They all play differently, you fucking idiot. Oh my god. That's not even a rocket science. That's just a blatant, blunt fact. How do you not know this? How? I know this. I've played most of them. I didn't play Burst Limit, I'll give you that. I didn't really think it would be good. And I've heard it's not that fantastic. Raging Blast 2 I like, even though it is slower than the fucking Sparking series. By a lot. So I just don't understand what you're talking about, man. Like, at all. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, and then you're going to compare Xenoverse to looking the same as Xenoverse 2? Shocking nobody. A fucking game that it looks like is a game that came out a year after it. Good job. What a fucking take.
The source material? Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell. And that's a problem.
So it's only different by graphics? So Xenoverse and Raging Blast, they play the same, right? Xenoverse and Raging Blast, of all games, they play the same. And then the Sparking series plays the same as Raging Blast. Come on, man. You can't be this naive. You just can't. I refuse to believe that you're this naive. I refuse to. My brain won't allow it.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is looking to switch up the DBZ Arena Fighter formula. But the truth is, it fails to switch up the formula at all. There have been well over 100 titles in the DBZ franchise. From the sublime to the absurd. But when Dragon Ball started using a boilerplate Arena Fighter template back in 2002 with the introduction of the Budokai series, the franchise has felt like it's been stuck in a hyperbolic time chamber.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
This guy just compared Budokai to Budokai Tenkaichi and said they were the same. I don't understand. You do know that Budokai is basically Tekken with flying, right? And Tenkaichi is an arena fighter. They're completely different. One's a 2D fighter with a little bit of 3D elements like Tekken, and the other is an arena fighter, completely different.
With over 20 different DBZ arena fighters released in the past 20 years, Sparking Zero promises to be more of an exercise in nostalgia than an actual competitive fighting game.
In any other circumstance, you might have had a point there. Except my boss is a woman, I was a chick in the 40s, I hate everyone equally, and there's no one alive who could comprehend my sexual preference. So in other words, Miss Vadwinkle, check your privilege.
He just compared Sagas, a gotcha game in Legends, fucking Burst Limit, what was the other things? Budokai, Raging Blast. He said they're all the same. This guy does not know what he's talking about at all. He needs to just stop, bro. This guy is the biggest idiot. It's actually giving me a migraine. I can't. I fucking can't. Raging Blast is the same as Budokai. Levels is the same as any of them. Come on, man. Just what the fuck are you talking about?
But she's got a new hat.
Dragon Ball fans deserve better. Full disclosure, I've been a huge Dragon Ball fan since I stumbled across it on Spanish Access Television when I was 10 years old. I love Dragon Ball. It means more to me than any other animated franchise. I name my cat Piccolo and sometimes dress him up like Lord Beerus. That's why I need Dragon Ball Z to do better. Looking back on the past is comforting, but we can't live in it forever.
I will send you to Jesus.
Man, you're such a fan that you don't know the difference in the games. Wow, what a great fan. You're a fucking moron at best. You don't know what you're talking about. Just stop. For the love of God, stop. It actually hurts my brain. God, my cat's Piccolo. That means that I can talk about it. That's fucking stupid. That is the dumbest point I have ever heard in my life.
We deserve either a transformative leap forward for the series or a sequel to the only transcendent Dragon Ball game over the last decade.
You need to shut the fuck up.
What are you talking about, man? The last decade? We had Xenoverse! Where you can create your character. I don't even think that's ever existed outside of the fucking Ultimate Tenkaichi, which was a dog shit game that has ever been like that in the fucking Dragon Ball series. And I'm not even a fan of Xenoverse. I know Bryce is. I am not. Fighters is transcendent. It's just fucking Rage. It's just Budokai, but instead of it being 3D, it's 2D only. So what are you going on about? How fucking naive are you? If anything, the most transcendent was the RPG game that was Kakarot. Outside of Xenoverse. Because we never had an RPG Dragon Ball series game. And we got it. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it was pretty good. It's got some pretty good stories, I ain't gonna lie. Or it's at least told really well. It kind of feels like you're playing the anime. It's amazing.
I've played Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and unfortunately, my fears were confirmed. This is deja vu all over again. Now, the Sparking Zero graphics are the best they've ever been, and I applaud them for having destructible environments and trees that sway when hit with ki power, but graphics alone do not make a game. When you dissect a match, it's much slower than it looks. Real impact and damage is far apart, and it doesn't have the back and forth, keep 'em guessing momentum battles of top fighting games.
Just stop breathing. I can smell the ammonia from here.
Holy fuck, you've never played the game then. I don't believe that you played the game. I think you may have just gotten your shit stomped on easy. It's not back and forth? Have you never played the Sparking series? You can constantly teleport behind your enemies back and forth because you're perfectly timing your dodges. What are you going on about, man? What? It's not back and forth. My ass, it's not back and forth. What are you talking about? How much of a fool are you?
We're seeing stagnation in the gameplay sphere, where Sparking Zero is extremely similar to the last several dozen Dragon Ball arena fighters. It feels more like the return of the EA Sports College Football franchise than a new spin on Dragon Ball. Updated graphics with familiar controls.
I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
So you never played the Budokai Tenkaichi games or read the thing where they said it's going to be a continuation of the Budokai Tenkaichi or Sparking games, because that's what it's titled. Holy shit. You want it to play completely different? Are you out of your mind?
And I need to talk about those controls, because if you've ever wondered what it's like to be one of the Z Fighters, turn elsewhere, because the controls are not great. Dragon Ball is at its best when it delivers on fighting and yelling, and Sparking Zero does have a dedicated yell button.
What the fuck?
Did you just call a key charge a yell button? A yell button. And you say that you're a fan of... Oh, I hate you so much. Oh, I hate you so much. Oh, you're so damn stupid. It's actually irritating.
Yelling makes your special bar max out, and then you can pull off bigger moves and Kamehamehas, but it comes at the cost of pacing. Powering up freezes you in place while your special bar fills up, leaving you vulnerable to attack. Sure, that's part of DBZ, but it still makes the game feel clunky, and here's why. It's because the controls are too complex for casuals, but not technical enough for hardcore gamers.
Dude, it's the same exact controls that I beat all of the Tenkaichi games on when I was a child. It's too complex for you? Really? Are you that damn stupid? Are you that bad at video games? I know journalists are supposed to be terrible at video games, at least that's the running gag, but come on. Just come on. You can't. I refuse to believe. I refuse it. I fucking refuse to. So I was correct, but also, I was correct when I said that you were too damn terrible at the game. Wow.
It's been 20 years since Dragon Ball Budokai 1, and transitioning from ground to air combat is still awkward. Locking on doesn't feel right. Ascending and descending could be streamlined, and it's not always clear if you whiffed a beam because of something you did, or if you just weren't on the right plane. You might even find yourself fighting underwater, but it doesn't slow you down or change anything at all.
You want to know why it doesn't change anything at all? It's probably because Goku's form of Super Saiyan Blue can shake the entire void. Let alone UI, which shook the void to its core, which is the area in between all the universes. So, I'm gonna have an aneurysm after this.
It just puts on a slightly different filter. The best fighting games, like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Under Night In-Birth, feel like you're mimicking character motion, gathering power, and pushing a button to release it. There's an emphasis on frame advantage, timing, and spacing that can mean the difference between victory and defeat. It becomes more of a dance at a higher level. Meanwhile, Sparking Zero feels like you're controlling a tank from very far away, and it's frustrating.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
This guy is just talking out of his ass. There's just no way. You do know that if you mistime stuff in Budokai, there is a massive punish in it, right? In the Budokai series and in the Tenkaichi series, which is sparking. No way. It's almost like you actually have to be decent at the game. You imbecile. Holy fuck. It makes you feel like you're controlling a tank. Well, majority of the time you are controlling a tank. Do you know how powerful giants are? Like Hydreigon, the most broken character in all of Dragon Ball video games. Even though in the anime he wasn't really that broken. But that's because he's evil. What is this guy talking about, man? I don't understand. His points are so invalid, it actually hurts.
Even the best fighting games can sometimes devolve into button mashing, but this is so counterintuitive that it borders on parody, which, hey, might be appropriate. Have you ever watched a Dragon Ball fight? It's all fast punches that don't hit, a knockdown, and a beam to finish it. It's awesome to watch. But when you're watching Goku punch so fast that those frames repeat, or he's moving faster than your eyes can clock, that's primarily so animators don't have to draw as much. But it doesn't translate well to gameplay.
You really want to piss me off.
I was correct. He has never played a Tenkaichi game. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The game plays exactly like Tenkaichi with better graphics. That's exactly what even people that have played it, that have played both, have said. So they were really hyped. It's why it's the most selling game on PlayStation for pre-orders. It's the most selling game right now on Steam, I believe, outside of a free game. And it's one of the highest selling games on Xbox, even though I don't really care. So what is this guy going on? What? Is this guy naive? There's just no... I refuse to believe that it's not rage bait. I refuse. I refuse to believe it. I simply refuse to believe it.
Playing it is a different beast. It sucks all the energy out of something that, in the anime, was deliberately paced that way to save budget. So, what does Sparking Zero have going for it? Well, for one, there's a huge roster. Unfortunately, there's almost no character differentiation. A lot of the characters share animations and combos. Functionally, there are probably closer to a dozen or so character types, and that's being generous.
Right.
They all play the same, really? The Giants play the same as Goku. The melee characters play the same as Goku. They're all just Goku. That's... Oh, that hurts. Oh, that's so damn stupid. Oh, you've never played Tenkaichi. It's very obvious. Holy fuck. I don't even think you played the game. I think you're just lying out of your ass, to be blunt. I don't even think you touched the game. Because there's just no way. That or you were so damn terrible, all you played was Goku. Because he's the easiest to use, is base Goku. Because there's just no way. You imbecile.
With 182 slots, who's champing at the bit to play characters like Nail and Kakunsa? If they're gonna go all out, I want some crazy characters. Bulma in a robot. Taco's shirt Krillin. World Tournament announcer. Farmer with a shotgun. Pay tribute to Toriyama by having one of his self-inserts be playable.
You were this close to losing your...
Yeah, this guy's not a Dragon Ball fan. That's being obvious. So we want characters that have never fought. We want the shotgun guy who got literally slapped by one little thumb push by Raditz. Really? Really? Dude, you are so... Oh, this guy's gonna give me an aneurysm. What? How fucking idiotic are you? Let's just give characters that are not anything significant. Anything. The only thing that I think was there was two characters that were missed that I think are a letdown. That's Supreme Kai and Super 17, which I don't know if we'll get Super 17, but we might get Supreme Kai and Daima.
There's an aspect of power scaling in Sparking Zero that's supposed to reflect the show's lore. Someone like Super Saiyan Blue Goku hits several times harder than Yamcha, which he well should. But that's a poor substitute for balance. Other games represent power differential matchups by showing different moves and impact. Still, because every Sparking Zero character feels the same with only slight differences, the best we can hope to get is the occasional character-specific power-up animation.
That was a 70-inch plasma screen TV. So, how can I help you?
Like I said, this guy's not a Dragon Ball fan. He wants every character to feel the same, so Yamcha should be just as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Yes, that makes fucking sense. You don't know what you're talking about. This is the Sparking series. The Sparking series is closer to anime power. It's great. It's why a lot of people like the game. So yes, let's just go back from the Sparking series and make every character the same power. Let's let Hercule hit just the exact same as fucking Goku Blue. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
But exploring a bunch of different martial arts styles whether it's MMA or drunken boxing, brings life into fighting games. Street Fighter VI launched with 18 characters. For the most part, they played differently and oozed with unique styles. Grapplers, rushdown characters, zone types, stance types, and a bunch more. Chun-Li has a different philosophy behind her than Zangief and demands a different playstyle. This doesn't really seem to be the case in Dragon Ball.
So you think that Hercule, Shiatsu, they're all gonna play like Goku? That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, guy? Hell, Krillin's gonna play like Goku. Grade 8 Vegeta. It's just Goku, dude. It is just Goku. What is it? Beerus, he's gonna play like Goku. Whis is gonna play like Goku, right? All of them. It's just Goku. Why even get anything else? It's just Goku. That is your take. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. Every character's gonna play different. You didn't play the game. It is painstakingly obvious now.
Where all characters are slight variations of Goku.
He said it! He said it!
Sparking Zero only has 2 archetypes, normal and big.
Son of a bitch! You done messed up, AA Ron!
Incorrect, sir. There's actually 4. There is Ki, there is Melee, there is Giant, and there is Android, because all of them have their own uniqueness, and they all fight differently. And then there's different fighters and different fighting styles within those archetypes. Who would have fucking thought?
It's not an entirely new mechanic, but it was a bit different to play as Oozaru Vegeta, a giant ape form that moved very slowly and had harder punches. But the controls are so floaty and tanky to begin with, it felt more frustrating than anything. So once you've played one character, you've basically played them all.
You done goofed.
So you want to know how many times he's actually played? He's played as Oozaru Vegeta, and he's played as Goku. That is all he's played as. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, you've done played them all. That's so idiotic, it's actually laughable. The other people who have played the game have even said that they don't play the same. Even the other forms of Goku don't play the same. You've never played the games. You don't know what you're talking about. It is so painstakingly obvious. It is laughable.
Dragon Ball Z games might be all about fighting and yelling, but Dragon Ball as a whole is so much more. And the games have a hard time bringing that sense of fun and confidence to the forefront. Goku himself was heavily influenced by Journey to the West. With his monkey tail, super strength, and martial arts abilities, as well as his mischievous nature, Goku is a modern-day Sun Wukong. As a matter of fact, Sun Wukong translates to Son Goku in Japanese, and the first Dragon Ball series especially reflects that. It's far more grounded and focused on exploration. There are moments along the way that would be perfect for a new game. For all the talking cats and horny sidekicks Goku might come across, there's a sense of world building that's missing when it's conveyed solely through punching.
So this guy just said fuck you to anybody that likes Super. He just says, all I want to play is another Dragon Ball original game. I don't want to play Super. Super is stupid. That is what this guy just said. Didn't Dragon Ball the original come out when I was before I was born? Like in the 80s? Why would we rather play that over Super, something that has never gotten its own game? Ever.
The anime hinges on big moments in relationships, like escaping the Red Ribbon Army with Bulma, or meeting Yamcha for the first time, or just how many bonds were formed during the first World Martial Arts Tournament.
Really? 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 Release restraint level 1.
So there were no bonds that were formed in Z, no bonds that were formed in Super? Are you out of your mind? Do you understand that they are fighting for their universe to stay in existence? What do you mean? There is bonds that are formed. Hell, Trunks comes into existence. Gohan, Goten. We get Boo and Mr. Satan. We find out who, Manaka. We get to find Beerus, Whis. What? This guy is gonna make me lose my shit. Oh my god, I can't with this dude.
This game strips out all the context for these deep, meaningful friendships that the Z family is built on. I don't fault Sparking Zero for being one thing or turning it into a gameplay type, but Dragon Ball is many things. You might think, well, Sparking Zero has a dedicated story mode, but at this point we've seen it. Dragon Ball games tread the same ground until it's paved over.
Wait, so we should just go to fucking Dragon Ball the original, which has been glossed over on multiple occasions? Why? Why should we go back to the original game? That doesn't make any sense. Oh my god. Plus, there is universe building and fighting. Do you not know who Goku is? That's how we became friends with fucking Jiren!
The Game Boy games, Legacy of Goku, retold the Z story, but had Goku punching wolves. Kakarot retold the Z story in its entirety. Xenoverse retold the story with some what-if and time travel elements, and included a somewhat lacking create a character. Sparking Zero also has a story mode, but it'll be thin, because we've seen it before.
It'd be funny if it weren't so pathetic. No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
So the what if story just doesn't exist to this guy, apparently. It's not real. There's no such thing as what ifs in the fucking Tenkaichi series. No, not at all. We're just gonna get the base story constantly from Saiyan Saga all the way to the Tournament of Power. That makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, doesn't it, everybody? That's what we're gonna get. We're not gonna get anything that involves what if stories. Why would we get what if stories? That just sounds illogical. This fucking guy.
We're the well thought out stories that challenge the player's perceptions rather than regurgitate it. Heck, where's the story of Dragon Ball pre-Z? How far will we get in the manga? Will we get manga only characters like Moro?
No.
This guy just called manga and asked if we're getting Moro or Granola, when they've already announced we're not, because they tried to and they were shut down by the actual owners of the Dragon Ball license currently.
Why not play through some of the less loved but still incredible movies like Super Android 13, or have Janemba's Hell as a stage? What about a baseball mode? There's so much ancillary content in the Dragon Ball world that is ripe for an adaptation that, unfortunately, will be left out for the greatest hits. And it could be a better love letter and feel like less of a money grab if they were acknowledged.
You serious?
It's money grabbing now. Wouldn't, if they just made another Fighters, didn't really add anything, wouldn't that be money grabbing? Huh. But no, to you, you think that that wouldn't be, but this is, even though it's just a rehash on a game that hasn't been out for 17 years! It is just fucking Budokai Tenkaichi 4, which has never came out. They haven't made one in 14 years, you fucking imbecile. Also, I almost glossed over the fact, you said that it's going to be the same story? So, you don't know about what ifs, but you're a Dragon Ball fan and you've played Tenkaichi? Really? I think that you're such an idiot, it's laughable for you to even say that you're a fan. Because it is just, there's nobody that believes you, bro. Not a soul. Not a single person believes you anymore.
Instead, we just get Frieza blowing up Krillin for the millionth time. In my opinion, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a much better use of the license and still has a robust, dedicated fan base after 6 years.
Man, it's such a robust fan base that a whopping 933 have been playing as of 39 minutes, and its 24-hour peak is 1,000. What a robust fucking game. Man, it's still so big in the fan base, and it has 44,000 as its peak. Meanwhile, let's go to Steam. This is Steam charts, and it's also number 1 on PlayStation, and I think it's like number 3 on Xbox, but I can't remember. Number 2. Only outsold by a free-to-play game in Counter-Strike. I don't know, dude. I think you don't know what you're talking about.
Ultimately, a sequel to that series would be a better overall direction for the franchise. It's had just one main release and a handful of DLC over the last 6 years, and is a fresh take on the series, which is weird considering it's a 2D fighter. It's fast-paced and competitive.
So now the fucking Tenkaichi games are not competitive? Really? Didn't you just say that everything feels like a tank and there shouldn't be any competitive because it's all Goku? Huh, that's really odd. Also, it is a hell of a lot more competitive than Fighters. Arena Fighters is so much harder. It's not even comparable. I would rather fight somebody on Fighters than I would fight somebody that's really good in Tenkaichi in a heartbeat. Because if they're amazing at Tenkaichi, holy fuck, it's going to be a massacre of me. And I was okay, but I was a child when I played that game. So, I mean, it's just not even comparable, bro. What do you think? Do you think that Fighters is better than fucking than Tenkaichi series? Are you crazy? It's more competitive in your mind, right? That is illogical. If you made it this far in the video, I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. It does help this channel, as well as subscribing. Once I do hit 1,000 subs, I will be shaving my head bald, like bald, like The Rock bald, or Stone Cold bald. I do also stream every single day on Twitch. I do hope you guys will maybe come give it a chance. It does happen every day. Currently, it's at 6 p.m. Central. I do have a schedule posted in that stream, times, and how long they usually last. Not only always does it last that time, or if it doesn't, if it does end up changing, I do post in the community tab, and that's how it works. Take care, everybody.